Each year, as the temperatures start dropping, Sydney becomes home to 3 weeks of seminars, events, and unique light and sound installations that transform the city into an urban playground. This year's Vivid has also introduced over 100 Vivid Ideas talks, featuring game-changing ideas and speakers discussing topics that range from the future in robotics to bed and breakfast for bees. Among these speakers are Dr Sandra Garrido and Professor Katherine Boydell, who held their own seminar presenting their studies on the link between music and mental health.
My name is Dr Sandra Garrido from the Marks Institute for Brain Behaviour and Development at Western Sydney University. I'm a research fellow in music psychology, or applied music psychology, which is the study of how music affects the brain and emotions and behaviours, particularly in applied context, so in mental health. I have a background in music and psychology myself, so I guess over the course of my undergraduate studies I just got really interested in how music affects the emotions and the well-being of young people in particular. So as a music teacher I was really interested in the effect that music had on the well-being of my students and the impact that had on their lives in general. And then I ended up doing a PhD on that subject. So in that event we were talking about the connection between music and mental health, and more things to do with the way people use music in everyday life. So we started by discussing the way music affects emotions and some of the mechanisms by which music influences our emotions. My colleague Katherine Boydell from Black Dog Institute, her research is around actually using creative processes in research.
I'm Katherine Boydell and I'm a professor of mental health here at Black Dog Institute. I was recruited here from the University of Toronto about 4 years ago for a Dean's Strategic Priority in Knowledge Translation. So at Vivid Ideas we were really interested in focusing on a particular art genre, music. And it's interesting that in arts-based health research there are many different art genres that are used, but music itself is rather underrepresented in that space.
We also talked a little bit about the mental health in people who are musicians.
I was quite astounded to see the stats on creators and musicians, but the fact that musicians are 5 times more likely to be depressed, 10 times more likely to experience anxiety. I mean, to me this is a huge issue.
So my name is Marianne Go. I've been playing piano for about 11 years now. I started learning the piano when I was 8, and just from there it just sort of went uphill. I think stress definitely comes into it when I'm performing or before an exam. I think for me a lot of the pressure comes from myself, and I think it does play a part in being a musician.
Another really important piece of information that I suppose I've discovered through a process of several different research studies that we've done is just how people are not always really aware of what's going on in their own head.
Over the years I've definitely considered it or thought about it, but I've never been too sure. And I think it also, the fact that I feel so privileged and that I have so much, makes me feel guilty even thinking about the fact that I might have depression.
We know that young people in particular are less inclined to seek help. And we know that thinking about the Moody Tunes app development, a lot of what that's about is it's thinking about prevention, so sort of targeting a group that has a rather high prevalence of mental health issues.
Professor Boydell and Dr Garrido are now in the process of developing a mental health app called Moody Tunes, in hopes of helping individuals identify mental health issues and seek help using music analysis.
So thinking about having the mobile phone, as a sort of an easy, accessible source, it's very much geared towards your own individual personal preferences and style.
They are currently planning to collaborate with the New South Wales Ministry of Health, Spotify and other mental health organisations to develop and further improve their project.
We like to make sure that our research has an impact on the community, and it's not just something that we're doing in the lab that doesn't have any benefit. Music is so universally interesting to people. This app will be something that will improve their moods and manage their mental health.